I have an iPhone XS Max, and when Apple released this year's new iPhone, the iPhone 12, the iPhone 12 Pro Max, or whatever it will be called, my iPhone XS Max will be 2 years old. And that is no age for these kinds of high-end phones, because I think iPhones nowadays can last 3 to 4 years easily. But earlier I have decided to buy an iPad Pro this year to have as a companion to my iPhone. But now I can't decide if that's something I will do, because do I really need an iPad Pro? My iPhone XS Max is my main computer. I do everything on it nowadays. I do video editing, all my video editing I do on my iPhone XS Max. I do video recording on my iPhone XS Max, and I read ebooks on my iPhone XS Max. I don't want to use an iPad Pro for reading books, because I think the screen is too huge for that. I want to be able to hold my book in one hand and read in my iPhone XS Max, and not on a huge 12-inch display or whatever, the iPad Pro version I will buy. And I also have a lot of TVs in my home, and my TV supports AirPlay, so I cast content to my TVs, for example videos, music and so on. So I don't need a huge display to watch stuff on at my home. And if I buy an iPad Pro, I know that that iPad will only be here at home and outside in my yard and so on. I will not have it with me at my work, for example, or something. I will not have it with me when we are traveling and so on. So I will only have my iPhone with me everywhere I go, and not an iPad Pro. I'm sure about that. And I also have some Android TV boxes connected to my TVs at home, so I have a lot of stuff I can watch on those and so on. And I also have an old Windows laptop as my file server, my media server and so on. And I have installed Linux on it, so it runs quite fast and very good, high performance and so on, as a Plex server, file server and so on now, when Linux have been installed on it. So that old Windows laptop is everything for me when it comes to media and files and all the storage I need. It even syncs my photos I take on my iPhone, my videos I take on my iPhone, to my own hard drives through my file server. So that is the only thing I need for my media and file storage. And I also have a very old MacBook Air 11-inch from 2012, and it's so old so I can't use it on battery anymore, so it's also connected to my monitor, the same monitor as my Windows laptop file server is. So I have both of them here in my studio, so I can use the Mac operating system whenever I want on this very old laptop, and I also have my file server here in the same place. So that is everything I need, really. So do I really need an iPad Pro? I can't think of anything I will use it for. I won't use it for video editing because I do that on my phone. Of course it would be easier to use LumaFusion on a larger display as the iPad Pro, but I am comfort with using my iPhone to video editing on, and I am used to do that, so I have no problem whatsoever to video edit on my phone. So that is not worth it to me to buy a huge and very expensive iPad Pro. So I can still not decide if I will buy an iPad Pro this year. I can't even decide if I will buy the iPhone 12 this year, because my iPhone XS Max is still so good, so it will last at least 1 year still. The battery life The life of the battery is still 93% if you check in the iOS settings. So I believe that this phone, the iPhone XS Max I have to record this video, will last at least 1 year still, without any problems whatsoever. And I have wireless chargers everywhere. I have it in my car, I have it here in the studio, I have it in my bedroom, I have it at my office, at work, and so on. So I always charge my iPhone wherever I am, so the battery life is no concern for me either. So I can actually use my iPhone XS Max at least 1 year still. But as I have done a very successful video for about a year ago now, this year's iPhone will be very, very good. It will be awesome, because now Apple will use a 5nm CPU in the iPhone, and that will be amazing. It will be revolutionary. So I am very tempted to buy an iPhone 12 Pro Max, hopefully with a 6.7-inch display, because I want it so huge, so large as possible, because I will use it more like an iPad Pro that I won't buy if I buy the iPhone 12. And it will be revolutionizing everything, battery life, all other stuff will be so good with the iPhone 12. And the camera is rumored to be awesome, and everything else will be excellent. And the neural engine, the AI that uses Apple's own neural engine on the device itself, it doesn't send any info or anything to Apple servers and so on. Everything happens on the phone and stays on the phone, will be awesome with a new 5nm CPU. So that is also something that I am very excited for. So then iPhone 12 Pro Max is something I am very tempted to buy, more tempted to buy nowadays than a new iPad Pro. So I don't think, at the moment at least, that I will buy an iPad, because I have no use for it. Actually, I don't have that, because I have so much other stuff here at home and at my work and so on. So I don't need an iPad. I only need my iPhone, really. So that's my thoughts about the year 2020 and the stuff that Apple will release, and my thoughts on what I will buy in the future and so on, and about Apple's really good devices nowadays. They are so good as a real powerful computer is. And the iPhone 12 this year will be faster than most of the Macs that Apple sell. So basically their own CPUs nowadays can easily succeed in performance over most of the laptops nowadays. So I am very happy with my iPhone XS Max at the moment. I don't need an iPad, so we will see what I will buy this year. Okay, bye.